Here's a book from our My Very First series. This is the space book, and we also have a dinosaur one and a castle one. And these are awesome nonfiction books for younger kids. There's not too much to read in it, so it's easy to just read through it in one sitting. It's got great information that's engaging for kids. You know, here it talks about living in space, and earlier in the book it talked about all the training that they have to do to become an astronaut. So great book, packed full of good information, and my son just loves to sit and look through the pictures and loves all the little chunks of information he can learn from it. Here is the big book of big tractors, and we have quite a few other big books. These are really neat because they have these fold out pages that make everything on the inside really big. And I love how there's nice pockets of information in here, so it's enough to spark interest and learn, but not too much to get overwhelmed. So these big books are definitely very popular and really fun. Here's one of our Lift and Look books. This one is trains, and we have a variety of other ones. These ones have nice, thick, sturdy pages. The flaps are nice and thick and sturdy as well. The text on each of the page asks you to find a teddy bear, so you open each of the flaps and look for them. This is a great book for younger kids who don't have a long attention span, but still enjoy flipping flaps and reading through books. Here I have Peek Inside Dinosaurs, and we have quite a few other Peek Inside books. What I love the most about them are the flaps. They're so much fun. Here we have one where there's a hole cut out. Here's a pine cone that turns into a dinosaur. Many of the pages have cutouts in them so you can peek through to the other side. The text on each of the pages is nice and simple, so not too much you have to read. Keeps the kid interested without overwhelming them with too much information. So very cool book. Here is one of our Look Inside books. This one is about airports, and we have lots of others just like this one. There are tons of interactive flaps throughout the whole book. Some of them have flaps inside of flaps, or they have, you know, turning wheel here. And on another page there's a tab that your child can pull that launches an airplane into the sky. I love how there's bits and pieces of reading and information throughout the book, but there's not too much of it, so it's not overwhelming for the kids. And here and in a few other places throughout the book, they kind of have, you know, the sequence of some of the things that happen at the airport. And so I'll read through this to give you an example. This says, first, boxes of cargoes arrive at the airport in trucks. Then they're loaded onto a conveyor belt, which rises up. The boxes slide along the belt. The nose of the plane lifts up, and the cargo goes inside. So I love how, you know, these flaps tell the sequence of getting all of this stuff into the plane. And we actually bought this book for my boys because they were going on their first plane trip, and it kept them occupied on the plane. They loved reading through it and opening all the flaps, and even since coming home, they really enjoy looking at the book, and it really keeps their attention for a really long time. Here is our See Inside Trains books, and we have lots of other See Inside books, and all of them have all of these really fun flaps for the kids to lift. You might be thinking, oh, flaps are just for younger kids, but not in the case of our See Inside books. These ones are designed for older kids. They are packed full of tons and tons of different information to teach you about whatever the topic might be. This particular one is about trains, so it teaches you about the different types of trains and trains of the past. So all these flaps really make it very fun and interactive for the kids, so it makes finding out all this information really enjoyable for the kids. This is a really neat book called Lift the Flap, Questions and Answers, and on all the flaps are questions, and then underneath the flaps are all the answers to the questions. And I'll read one right here. It's called, How Many Hairs Are There on My Head? And it says, roughly 100,000. Redheads have the fewest hairs, blondes have the most. So as you can see, the questions are fairly simple and explanations are fairly simple too. So it's not too overwhelming, but definitely some great information for those curious kiddos. Here is one of our illustrated dictionaries. This is a first dictionary, so it's going to be a little bit simpler than some of the others. And the topic of this one is science, and we have some other topics. We have math and chemistry and biology and physics. So I love how this one does a great job having simple explanations of the topic and great supporting illustrations to go with it. This is a great book for kids who are curious about things and ask lots of questions. And I find that these illustrated dictionaries also make great homework helpers, whether your child is very interested in a topic like math or if maybe they need a little extra support in it. This is a great book to have on hand because you can just pull it out and look for the information that you need. Here we have one of Usborne's encyclopedias, and these are packed full of so much information. And as you can see in the bottom corner here, it has internet links, so you can go online and find out more information about whatever topic that page might be about. And the links are monitored by Usborne, so they're going to be safe for your child to visit. And these encyclopedias are so nice and a really nice resource to have in your house, because your child can just flip through it and find more information about many different topics.